Joe. Welcome to my first impressions for Skeleton Crew. The first two episodes dropped earlier today, way earlier today, because I'm recording this at like 7:40. NXT's about to start in like 20 minutes. This dropped by I think 1 or 2 p.m. here in the East Coast, and with the episodes were released, I was like, oh shit. So, which kind of shocked me because, usually these, when it comes to the Disney Plus shows and everything, man, they usually always come out around 7 p.m. or whatnot, is when these episodes typically release. So this was definitely a shock to see this release. But I guess because it's focused with kids, it's definitely been probably a bit more kid friendly and more aimed towards kids compared to Mandalorian or Andor or whatnot. That's probably why they set a much earlier release schedule time slot. But yeah, man, honestly, you guys may remember my trailer reaction. I mentioned this looked kind of interesting. I was kind of interested to see what Jon Watts would do with the Star Wars universe. And I gotta say, man, after watching the first 2 episodes, I'm really into this show. I had a blast watching. I don't think Skeleton Crew will be something that'll reinvent the wheel like Mandalorian, or be in the same light as Mandalorian, as one of the pillars of Star Wars media, as one of everyone's fan favorites, of the Disney Plus shows or whatever. I don't think it'll be quite to that echelon. It could be by the end of it, we don't know. But I feel this show will just be a fun blast of Star Wars. Just a fun blast in the Star Wars universe that will probably be a pleasant surprise for a lot of people. Because it was for me, I didn't really have much anticipation going into Skeleton Wars or Skeleton Crew before. And I was like, okay, new Star Wars show done by James Wan. Trailers look interesting. I'll watch it because, I'm a Star Wars fan. I watch everything. I watch all the Disney Plus shows. But I'm like, hey, you know what, man's cooking. He's low-key cooking with this show. But I think this will be a pleasant surprise for a lot of people. And I think this will just be a lot of fun to watch because I had a blast watching the show. But anyway, let's just jump right in, ladies and gentlemen. So the show is already, like I mentioned before, this is obviously done by Jon Watts, and the plot and stars Jude Law, Ryan, Kira Armstrong, Kiri Condon, if I'm pronouncing it right, Jalili, I have no idea to pronounce his name, White, Robert Timothy Smith, and many more. And the plot of Skeleton Crew is, in the New Republic era, a group of kids lost in the Star Wars galaxy, desperately trying to find find their way home. Yeah, no, way home. Spider-Man, no way home. Okay, I'm done. I had to get that there. But first of all, man, you can definitely tell this show is done by Jon. This is a Jon Watts show, because if you are someone like me, or you or Marvin, you have watched his Spider-Man movies. You watch Homecoming, No Way Home, and Far From Home, man. This feels very much in that style. Because this is now I could be wrong on this one. There's a good chance some of this has already been shown off, in some Legends novels or something. But I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever seen a suburban planet or a suburban area in the Star Wars universe. Because everything else we've seen is rich, it's Coruscant, this big epic metropolis city, futuristic and shit, or it's fucking Tatooine, or some other place in the Outer Rim where it's just run by pirates and other shit, or it's Tatooine or something like that, man, where it's a shithole in the desert with just huts riddled with crime. You got the cantina, and that's about it. Nothing really to write home about. I don't think we've ever seen in Star Wars just a straight up suburban neighborhood we most of us probably live in, just futuristic, Star Wars defined. But we do get that here, and it was kind of cool, and it was really cool to see it, because like I said, I don't think we've ever seen this in Star Wars, at least in any of the movies or TV shows. Like I said, there's a good chance some of this has probably been shown off in Legends material or something, but as far as the canon stuff from the movies and TV shows, man, this is probably the first time we've ever seen anything like this, and it was a nice change of pace. And this show also just felt like a breath of fresh air for Star Wars, because we've seen so much of it with Mandalorian, the Jedi, and everything. Just to see something like this just feels very different, very new, something we haven't really seen in Star Wars. And I really dig what they did with it, man. When we do spend time in this scene, and the cereal makes a return as well. You get to see Star Wars cereal for the second time. As you guys may remember, there was a huge thing. I want to say it was for Andor, season 1. I'm pretty sure it was Andor. It might have been like Mandalorian season 3, where we actually got to see cereal for the first time in Star Wars. Anyway, that was like a whole thing on Twitter for that when that episode dropped about like that cereal exists in the Star Wars universe. So that makes its return here once again, man. And yeah, like I just love the set design, the look of this world. I forget the name of the world they're on, that they start off that they're from in the show, but I really dig the look of that world, man. Then of course in the second episode, it's when they get on the spaceship and they're transported to like this prison or to like this pirate area, and they get and that's when of course they meet with Jude Law's character, Jode, as this thing on Google says his name is. So, and I thought the performances all were real good. The kids I thought also all had really great performances, man. I don't know who played like the edgy like punk teenage girl. I think that might have been Ryan as Femme. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that might have been her. But she was probably my favorite one. That like the opening when we kind of get introduced to these characters kind of reminded me. And I say this as someone who has never even watched this movie, The Breakfast Club, for some reason. Like I said, I've never seen The Breakfast Club, but I know there was an episode of Victorious that was like heavily inspired by The Breakfast Club. That's how I probably have any knowledge of that film from that one episode. But it kind of gave me that same kind of vibe, which that's something that John Waltz, like he credited that as like the inspiration for Spider-Man Homecoming, was that, and of course Fear Pugh's Night Off. So if you like I said, this one keeps a lot of that same style that we saw in the first Spider-Man, in his first Spider-Man movie we saw in Homecoming. So if you were like really into Homecoming, you like the low stakes, you like the the high school thing and all that jazz, man, you will love Skeleton Crew because it's very much in line with that, at least in its first episode. And then the second episode, I'm sure onwards is gonna be a bit more Star Wars-y, since now they're in space and everything, man, and they're trying to find their way home. But that first episode, man, was like I said, was a really nice, fresh breath of fresh air with just how different it was compared to how we usually see stuff in Star Wars. But yeah, the kids I thought did really great performances. I thought from all the kids, man. Practical effects has always looked amazing on like the creatures. We see like this wolf guy that looks really fucking cool. I don't think we've gotten his name yet. At least if we have, I don't remember it. But he was definitely like, I hope we see more of the wolf guy in future episodes, man, because he looks fucking cool. I don't know if we've seen any previous like wolf men in Star Wars before, but this is like the first time we see this in any of the TV shows or movies. But he was really fucking cool, man. I hope we get to see more of him in the show. The droid in the show as well, he is also awesome. I love the droid. And no lie, man, this droid can fuck you up, man. Like, this droid can fuck you up. We see him fighting against some of the pirates when the kids arrive to the pirate area and they're trying to get out to get back to the ship and get into it because they're trying to find directions back home. And he's like having to fight a few of the pirates, man. Like, this droid can fuck him up, man. This droid had to be fucked with. So he was pretty cool as well. Like I said, I hope we see more of the droid. I don't know if we will because he got shot in the end of the second episode. Minor spoiler alert. But he gets shot and it looks like he's like malfunctioning, like dead seemingly at the second episode. So I don't know. I hope this isn't his last appearance and we get to see him, throughout the show, man. But either way, man, he was awesome. I also love the poster for Skeleton Crew. It feels very 80s sci-fi in its look, like something like E.T. or something, man. I really dig the look of the posters for this show, man. I really dig it. But yeah, like the music is also really good as well. I love the song they played during the end credits, man. And also, I just love that this show is definitely very relatable to Star Wars fans because there's a whole thing because the whole thing with the main kid is that he wants to be a Jedi. That's his whole shtick. And we see in the episode, like in the first episode, he's like on his way to school, to go on the bus to school. Like I said, very much in line with like shows like with like Spider-Man Homecoming, Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club, those types of like high school movies that something we've never really ever seen in Star Wars before. You see where he meets up with like his friend, the Elephant Kid, and they straight up have have a lightsaber fight. He brings out his lightsaber, the other one has like an imaginary lightsaber, and they just start fighting. You got the music playing and everything. Man, I was watching it like, damn, bro, #relatable. Because if you ask me, you are not a true Star Wars fan unless you have had imaginary or play lightsaber fights with either your friends or family members with your own lightsabers or whatnot, man. I know I've done it. I'm sure y'all have done it as well. So that was pretty cool as well, man. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. I think the one problem I have, at least from these first two episodes, is that I do kind of wish we did spend a little more time with in the home planet world of the kids, because like I said, we have never seen something like suburban life in Star Wars, that I kind of wish they spent more time with it. Like maybe we got all the first episode, maybe a bit in the second episode we got to stick around this place just so we can explore more of it, just so I can learn more about the school, the people that go here, man, what happens in here, about the kid's dad, what he does for a living. We don't really get to see much of him, although I'm sure in future episodes he's probably gonna have some more screen time and whatnot. But yeah, man, this was a fantastic first 2 episodes, man. I really dig what I watched, man. I'm really excited to see the rest of the series. Which like I said, I didn't really have much anticipation or hype for the show going into it from the trailers, but like the first 2 episodes have really sold me on this show, man. I'm now really excited to see where Skeleton Crew will be going in the future for the rest of the episodes. But anyway, guys, let's continue this video off. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me socials if you feel like it. Link subscribe below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.